Namaste. This practice invokes the power, the energy of the goddess. And we all have this goddess energy within us, male or female. We all start life in the womb, in the female form. Some of us evolve then into the masculine form. So we can all tap into that goddess within us. And before we start today, I want to introduce you to the divine goddess, the great goddess, Durga. Durga rides a lion or a tiger, a great cat. She's dressed in a fine red sari with lots of jewelry, and in her many arms, she holds in her hands various weapons given to her by the gods to fight against evil, to fight against a demon who could not be killed by a man, but he could be killed by a woman. So come to a comfortable seated position to start with. And in order to invoke Durga, this goddess power within us, we're going to take a mudra, if this is comfortable for you to do so. So a mudra is a shape usually made by the hands, and it's going to be our thumbs touching and our index fingers touching to make a triangle. And it's important the triangle is pointing downwards, and the other three fingers can just tuck lightly against the palm, and bring that triangle shape down in front of the pelvis. And relax the shoulders if you want to, closing your eyes, or a soft gaze at nothing in particular. And bring your attention to your breath. Notice the breath coming in and out of the body. And seeing if you can bring the inhale deep down, right down, so that you feel you're taking it down into the depths of your belly, down into your pelvis. And the exhales are slow and steady, in and out through the nose, if that's okay for you. We're tapping into this grounding energy of Muladhara chakra, our base energy center, right down at the bottom of the spine, that makes us feel strong and stable and grounded, connected with the earth. And from this energy, from this grounded, stable energy, we're going to grow into our goddess power. So Durga is the ultimate goddess. Her name means fortress. She represents strength, protection, courage. She is the anchor in the storm. She can bring us to the eye of the storm, the very center, and hold us there to weather it. Take a couple more deep breaths in and out, feeling that in your heart, in your whole body. And then releasing the mudra and giving your fingers a little wiggle, a little stretch. I want you to bring the soles of your feet together in Baddha Konasana, our bound angle position. And depending how far away you take the feet from the hips, this can be a little more comfortable or a little stronger up near the hips. We're going to hold on to shins or ankles, gently flutter the knees, starting to get a bit of movement around the tops of the thighs and the hips, very much working in that area of the body today. And then lengthening up through the spine, a nice big inhale. Take those knees out to the side, bend your elbows and bow forwards. Try and keep a straight spine. So if you feel the back rounding, Come back up again on the inhale. Try and find that length again away from the sit bones and bow forwards. Maybe gently peeling the tops edges of your feet apart. Good. One more nice deep breath. And then let's take some circles, some gentle circles with the hips, round one way, round the other way. And bringing the knees together, giving them a hug if you want to. Let's bring the palms to the floor. So come to tabletop pose. Hands and knees. And feel this grounding energy connecting with the floor. I'm going to take a couple of cat-cows to warm the spine up. Inhale as you are, exhale, pushing into the ground, round the back up to the sky, drop the head. Inhale, let the belly relax, lift the heart, lift the head forward, cow pose. So working through your cat stretch with a rounded back on the exhale, cow pose on the inhale, letting it flow. And after a couple more times, bringing that to stillness. Because Durga rides a tiger or a lion, we better take tiger pose. So you're welcome to have hands directly under shoulders, fingers spread out with your tiger paws, or you could come onto your forearms and work from there, or fists if that's more comfortable. I'm going to start by taking the right leg out behind us. Maybe move the knees a little closer together to help with the balance. Take the right foot hip height, point the toes down at the ground and lengthen through the crown of the head and the back heel. Get nice long length in the spine. Take an inhale there. On the exhale, draw the knee forwards underneath. Look towards it, round the back up towards the sky and point the toes. Inhale, you're welcome to take the leg out straight again, or you can keep the knee bent and kick up into the ball of your foot, lifting into a little bit of a back bend. So go gently. Exhale, tucking the knee under, rounding everything, engaging those core muscles, squeezing the tummy, the sides, a little bit of glute squeeze. Inhale, opening out. Nice and gently, so either lengthening the foot out or lifting it to the sky, flexing it. Last time, exhaling, nose and knee travel towards each other, you round the back. Inhale, lift the heart, lift the gaze a little forward. You decide how much of a back bend to make it and bring the knee down to the floor. Let's take it the other side. Left leg is going to lengthen out. Inhale through the spine. Exhale, drawing the knee underneath, rounding the spine. Inhale, choosing to take the leg out straight, keep the spine more neutral, or bending the knee, flexing the foot, lifting that foot up to the sky, lifting the heart and the head so that you come into more of a back bend. Exhale, rounding, nice and slow. Mindful movements. Inhale, opening. And bringing the knee down. Widening the knees if you like. Sink the heels back into child pose. Taking nice, deep, slow breaths here. Important when we're working with the goddess and the warriors to ground our energy, keep that connection with the earth. And the next goddess we're going to call upon to invoke is Saraswati. Saraswati is often depicted in a white sari, near water with swans, representing purity and enlightenment. She is the creative goddess, that spark of creativity in each of us. She dispels darkness and encourages us to flow with our intuition. So rising up to all fours now, I encourage you to flow. Saraswati means the flowing woman. So even her name means flowing. And we're going to start with some hip circles, taking the hips out to the side, front, side, back. And you can make these as small or as big as you want to. Letting the elbows bend, letting the shoulders and the head move. And then when you feel that you've done a few in one direction, reversing the flow, going in the other direction. And then taking a few more breaths, moving however your body tells you it wants to. So maybe the cat-cows come back in, maybe with a combination of the forward and back movements. Maybe you do a figure of 8 move, one way and then the other way. Maybe you rest. Listen to what your inner voice tells you. That's what Saraswati encourages us to do. And then I want you to sit back on your heels, if that's okay for you. Not everyone is going to be comfortable like this. So you're welcome to sit cross-legged or with the legs out in front of you, knees bent, feet flat on the floor. We're not going to stay here. We're going to come onto a side hip. So if you're cross-legged or feet in front of you, you stay as you are. If you're seated kneeling, then taking the weight onto your left hip, bringing that left knee forwards, and then letting the right leg be at an angle with a bent knee. So this is like deer pose, a prancing deer through the forest. And we're going to start with the hands, the fingertips on the floor. So if you're sitting in a different way, still get those fingertips on the floor. Then lift the right hand out. As you inhale, take the right hand up and back, following it with your gaze. As you exhale, sweep the hand gently around in an arc, bringing it to the left shoulder and looking down over your left shoulder. Twice more. So these movements can be as big or as small as you want. You know your body, whether it's okay to twist around a lot, how your neck is, how your back is. It's going to depend on what these movements look like for you. But let them be elegant, slow, determined, mindful, working with your breath length. So might be faster or slower than me. And when you've finished your third, sway back and forth, bringing the hands either side of that front knee or to the floor, however you're sitting, either coming back through kneeling, changing the cross of the legs if you've got the legs crossed, readjusting so that you're comfortable, ready to go the other side. So if you're coming into deer pose, sitting now on that right hip, and taking the legs in a kind of 90-90 position, 90-degree angle-ish with the legs so that it's comfortable and your hands are framing that front knee. As we inhale, we're lifting the left hand up and out, opening out the heart, following the hand with your eyes. Exhale, bringing it forward, bending the elbow, resting the hand on the right shoulder, looking over that right shoulder. Twice more. Feel resistance in the air as you're moving your hand and your arm through it. Feel like there's work going on in the muscles, so a little bit of effort involved, but making it seamless and smooth. After you've done this 3 times, coming back down to the earth, grounding the hands down. And then if you're comfortable to do so, coming back to kneeling. Otherwise, come into your chosen seated position. And I'd like to bring us to stillness, into a short meditation using a mudra. And this is Lakshmi's mudra, the goddess of light. So we're invoking the second goddess now. I'll show you the mudra, then I'll tell you about Lakshmi. So you want to take 3 fingers, your little finger, ring finger, and middle finger into the palm, nice and gently. Try not to dig the nails in. And then put the index finger up in the air for now. And that should leave you able to put the thumb next to that middle finger, the thumb pointing upwards. Okay. And then turning to the side, gently bend the index finger so that the tip of the index fingers rests lightly on the thumbs. Okay, thumbs are trying to stay straight, and then bring that to heart level. Let the shoulders relax, and you can close your eyes or soft gaze. I'm going to show a picture of Lakshmi if you want to have a peep. Lakshmi, the goddess of light, signifying wealth and prosperity, both spiritual as well as material. She attracts good luck, love, and abundance. Depicted in a red sari, with coins flowing from her hands or a pot, and accompanied by elephants. With Lakshmi Mudra, I want you to imagine you have a tiny seed between your thumb and fingertips. This is a spark of light, a spark of energy, so strong. It has the potential for nuclear fusion. You hold it between your fingers. Feel this pulse of energy and light, filling your whole body with a sense of luminosity. And I want you to think of the sound associated with Lakshmi. It's shreem. Saying that to yourself, shreem, shreem, shreem. Flow. And Lakshmi turns your dreams into reality. She's connected to the lotus and has many names connected with the lotus blossom, such as Padma and Kamala. So releasing the mudra now, giving your fingers a wriggle again, we're going to bring them into lotus mudra, Padma mudra, by joining the little fingers and thumbs and fanning out the other fingers to make the shape of a flower, a blossom. Again, bring that in front of your heart. And we're going to rise up with this blossom. So if you're on your knees, you can come up to high kneeling. If you're sat down, then lifting your arms, your hands up is fine. So be comfortable. Change the cross of your legs if you've been sat cross-legged for a while. So on the inhale, we want to lift the mudra up into the sky, like a lotus rising out of the mud towards the light. And on the exhale, releasing the mudra, showering down blessings and bowing down. Inhale, come up, bringing the mudra in front of the heart and lifting it up again. Exhale, showering down blessings, bowing forwards and down. One more time. Rising up out of the muddy waters like the lotus. Exhale, bowing down, respecting the goddess. And coming upright, we're going to come into a little toe balance. So bringing yourself to tucking the toes under, and you can stay with this if that's enough of a stretch on the feet and you don't want to go further into the balance. You can lift the knees off the floor and use the fingertips to keep you there, the hands or fingers. You can come back to kneeling or seated, stretch out the legs, do whatever you need to, or we can stay in this balance as I want to introduce you to our third goddess. Perhaps you can bring the hands to the heart center and play with your balance there, bringing all of your energy into the center as we take a look at Kali. Kali is the dark aspect of Durga. She is a fearsome goddess, known as the destroyer. She represents sacrifice, death, and destruction. And it is Kali that takes us out of our comfort zone. Whilst I tell you more about Kali, you're welcome to stay in this toe balance or come in and out of it into a forward fold, bending and straightening the knees. It is said that when Durga became so enraged, that anger burst out of her third eye, that point between the eyebrows, in the form of Kali, this dark woman dressed in animal skins rather than finery, and a string of skulls around her neck. Kali means business. She is fierce, but as part of the Divine Mother, she is also a protector. She has a gentle side. Whether you're still in a toe balance or you want to come into a forward fold in order to rise up in a minute, I'd like you to explore Kali Mudra, either now or when we're in standing. And Kali Mudra is when we link the fingers together, but keep the index finger extended. And you can cross either the left thumb over the top of the right for the feminine energy, or the right thumb on top of the left, that stronger masculine energy. You can push up from the toe balance to standing, or you rise up by rolling or lifting with a flatter back from a forward fold. So use the power of your legs, however you're rising up. When you get to standing, forming that Kali Mudra at the heart, and you can continue and lift it up into the sky, looking up or looking straight ahead, drawing the elbows into the side of the head, the upper arms next to the ears. Feel strong in this standing position. Inhale there. Exhale, bringing the hands down in front of the heart. Release the mudra and come to mountain pose. Roll the shoulders back, draw them down, and take a few nice deep breaths here. And I want you to embrace the idea of that dual aspect to Kali. She's a much misunderstood goddess. So we've got the softness of the belly on the inhale, let that belly swell, the rib cage expand out, and the strength, that core strength. As you breathe out, draw the belly back towards the spine, little squeeze in the glutes, the side body comes in, everything coming in towards the spine. Softness on the inhale, power and strength on the exhale. Keep that in mind as we're going to use Kali Mudra again in a moment. So come to the front of your mat if you're not already there. Give yourself room to step back. You're going to bring the hands in front of the heart. Inhale, lifting up. Exhale, bowing down. Let the fingertips touch the floor. So bending the knees as much as you want to. You're going to take a big stride back with the right foot, first of all, into a runner's lunge. And you can stay here with the knee lifted or drop it down on the floor. If you know your balance isn't great, or you find you're a little off balance when we rise up in a minute, then drop that knee down to the floor. Make sure your front knee is over the front ankle. And then maybe we'll lift up in stages, coming first of all, hands to the thigh, maybe then hands to the heart. Take that Kali Mudra. Okay, if you want to, you can lift the hands over the head, otherwise they move from the heart and back again. So perhaps we're lifting up, or hands at the heart on the inhale. On the exhale, I want you to slowly turn to the side and shoot that mudra out. Good. Lifting up and in, or bringing the hands back to the heart on the inhale, and then shooting that energy out the other side. Nice and slow and mindful. You can always drop that back knee down. Inhale, facing forward, release the mudra, and bring the hands down either side of that front foot. Staying in either your low lunge or lifting the knee to the high lunge for a breath, sinking down into those hips, extending out through the crown of the head and either the back knee if it's on the floor or the back heel. And then lifting the knee if it's not already, little rock back and forwards between the feet, push off with that back foot, step into your forward fold again, ready to do the other side. So this time taking the left foot back, nice big stride into a runner's lunge, seeing how that feels for you. If you felt a bit wobbly before, heel toeing the foot out to the side can make you feel more stable. So maybe try that. Or back knee comes down to the floor. Do pad it up if you want to. Rising up, you know where you're going now. So maybe you do it in stages. Maybe you bring the hands directly to the heart. Tuck that tailbone down, draw the belly in so that the lower back stays relaxed. Everything is engaged. Inhale, either here at the heart or lifting the arms up over the head. Exhale, you're going to turn to your right, shoot the power out to the right-hand side. Inhale, lifting the arms over the head or bringing them back to the heart. Exhale, turning to your left, shooting out that energy. We wield our weapons with great love and discernment. So thinking about that goddess energy. Exhale, releasing the hands, coming down to the mat. Staying here. Deep breaths. Drop the back knee or keep it lifted, remember. And this time we're going to step back instead of forwards. So pushing into the hands, take that right foot back into a down dog. If you want to, staying here, walking out the legs, exploring your downward dog for the next few breaths. If you prefer, come straight to kneeling. We're all going to end up in child pose. So you've got a few breaths, decide how you want to spend them. Let the exhales be nice and long and slow. Coming down to the floor. We'll meet together in child pose. Resting here, deep, slow breaths. Either the knees are near each other or wide apart with the big toes touching. You decide on your child pose. And we're going to rise back up to standing from here. So moving to all fours, tucking the toes, either staying in down dog or immediately starting to walk forwards. Walking the hands and the feet together. When you're in your forward fold, make sure that the feet feel stable and strong, grounded down into your mat, rooting down to rise up. Inhale, drawing the belly back towards the spine as you lift up. You can lift the hands as well if you want to, bringing them in front of the heart on the exhale and releasing into mountain pose. Right, time to get back into those hips again and work the thighs this time with some squats. So taking the feet almost mat width apart, so quite wide, toes point out to the side, that generally tends to help. And you can have your hands on your thighs, good for pushing yourself back up again, or on the hips, or if we get into it, maybe hands at the heart. So lots of options. We're going to start with the legs straight, inhaling up nice and tall, trying to keep the heart lifted as we exhale, dropping the tailbone down, bending the knees, finding out how that feels, pressing up again on the inhale. And exhale down again, maybe coming a little deeper this time, just exploring where your squat wants to go. And this third time, go as deep as you can and stay there. So perhaps your hips come down towards the floor. Perhaps you're higher up with your hands or your forearms on your thighs. Lengthen out through the spine. So keep the crown of the head reaching away from the hips, and breathe into this little bit of discomfort. Remember, Kali takes us out of our comfort zone. This loving shove that she gives us in order to make things happen. So breathing, you can use the pulse between bowing down on the exhale to straighten the legs, and then coming into the squat on the inhale, or you can stay. Couple more breaths. We're all going to finish in a forward fold. So making your way there when you are ready. And I want you to turn yourself to the wide side of your mat and take a wide stance. If you turn to the left, facing the left edge of your mat, feet parallel and knees bent enough so that the fingertips touch the ground, and start swaying the hips, bending one knee and then the other, and let your hands move with it, moving with the motion along the mat. And then drawing that to stillness, lengthen through the spine, lift up a little bit if you want to on the inhale, bend those knees to protect the back. And then on the exhale, lengthen the legs, take the hips up high, bow down low. Couple of breaths here in your forward fold. And then turn the toes out towards the corners of the mat. We're going to bend the knees. Bring your hands to your thighs. Press down on the thighs, rise up to standing. And we're ready for our first goddess sequence. So I want you to keep those toes pointed out. Just take a little plie down, and if the knees really come in between the feet instead of going out over them, heel toe the feet a little closer together. We're going to stretch up on the inhale. On the exhale, bend the elbows, cactus arms, bend the knees, drop those hips down. Good. Exploring your first goddess pose. Hands are starfished out. Energy is high. Lovely. On an inhale, take the arms open out to the side. And on the exhale, bring the hands down to the thighs. We're going to take some torso twists here. So on the inhale, you can have your thumbs either pointing forward or back, whatever is more comfortable for you. On the inhale, think lengthen the spine. On the exhale, dip the left shoulder down, turn to your right. Inhale, come back through the center. Exhale, dip the right shoulder down, turn to your left. Inhale, back through the center. And again, exhale, turning to your right. Inhale, center. Exhale, turning to your left. Inhale, center, push all the way up this time. We're going to come into warrior two. So turn the right toes to the front of your mat, the narrow end of your mat. Bring the left toes a little way forward, so maybe 30, 45-degree angle. And you might need to adjust the width between the feet as we go. Let's inhale, lift the arms, shoulder height, look down that right hand. Exhale into your warrior. And if that knee is going out over the toes, you can widen your stance. Drop those hips down on the exhale. Hips are turned as best you can to the long edge of the mat. And you breathe. And you feel strong. And remember that balance of feminine and masculine energy. Warrior two is where we really find our courage. Standing strong. And then we're going to take another mudra called Shield of Shambhala. So the front palm you lift towards you, and the back hand you make into a fist and bring it into that front palm. And that comes in front of the chest like a shield. So we take a breath here, stay with your warrior legs, and then we're going to do a little warrior dance. So on the inhale, I want you to lift up that right palm, open out the left palm, and make a circle with your arms, as though you're holding a giant circle. Tilting back, so you're either looking up or looking sideways. And then as you exhale, slowly rotate the arms around, lean forwards, and look under that left arm. So the arm's now rotating the other way round, and then inhale, open back out to warrior two. Exhale, cartwheel the hands down either side of the front foot, turn into a runner's lunge. From this runner's lunge, you've got a choice to launch into warrior three or to come into a forward fold up to standing and take warrior three from there. I just turn a little more towards you. Perhaps you want to watch this once and then rewind and give it a go. So choices, you can grab some blocks, come near to a wall or back of a chair. We're going to go from warrior three into our Shiva squat. So if you want to, pressing down into that front foot, launching yourself into your warrior three, get a nice line, lifting the back foot so that it's level with the hips and the head. Okay, so if you don't want to do that, then you bring the foot forward, you come into a forward fold, you roll up and you work from standing. So you're taking the left foot back, maybe just lifting the toes off and down again, maybe coming into a more upright balance, flexing or pointing the foot. You discover what's right for you. And then with a nice big inhale in your warrior three, exhale into your Shiva squat, bending that back knee, drawing it in behind the standing leg as you squat down, and then out again into your warrior three. Nice and slow and mindfully. Can you do that again? Maybe bringing the hands to the heart, maybe using Kali Mudra here. In and out of your warrior three and your Shiva squat, and then rising up to standing, coming into mountain pose and taking a good breather there. Closing the eyes if you want to, letting the energy settle as you notice sensations. Deep, slow breaths, realizing that you have the power to bring softness back into the body. Bring everything back to equilibrium. When you're ready, we're going to turn to the other side. So you're turning now to your right. If it was useful to have blocks, then have them at the ready, at the front of your mat. If you know you want to use a wall or a chair, then come to that when the time is right. So this time we're going to come into our forward fold, our wide-legged forward fold from standing. So feet are parallel at this stage. Hands can be on the hips, or you can lift them out to the side. Take a nice big inhale in, exhale, hinging from the hips, crown of the head comes forward, and you float down into your forward fold. Staying here for a couple of breaths, you might want to bring the feet wider or closer together. Maybe the head comes to a block or the floor. And then bringing the heels in towards each other, come into the start of your goddess pose, a little bend in the knees there. And again, get this sway going from side to side. And this time, if you want to, you can either make figure of eights on the floor, or you can bring in circles. So rising up and over, bending the opposite knee, coming down again. Twice round one way, and then pausing at the bottom and going the opposite way, bending the knee as you lift up that side, straightening the legs at the top, bending the opposite knee as you come down. And round again if you want to. However you've been moving, we're going to stop when we're standing. So if you're staying in a forward fold, lifting yourself up, maybe bringing the hands to the thighs, the hips, and we'll arise together into this standing position. Toes are pointing out to the corners of the mat. Let's reach up to the sky. Nice big inhale. Exhale. Cactus arms and bend the knees. Come into your goddess, your true goddess. So some people, their legs might be out 180 degrees. Some people, it's much closer together. You want a bit of work going on, but you want those knees to be going out over the feet. And if you need to heel toe them in, that's what you do. Lovely. So this time we're going to be making a Kali goddess breath. So like lion's breath that we sometimes do. You stick out your tongue, you make your eyes as big as you can on the exhale. Think ferocious and fierce. So we're going to inhale, reach up to the sky. Exhale, draw down energy. On the inhale, take your elbows back, opening the heart. On the exhale, Kali breath. And again, twice more, inhaling up, exhaling, drawing down that goddess power. Inhale to open the heart, draw the elbows back, squeeze the shoulder blades. And one more time, how ferocious can you make this posture? Okay, your warrior. Your goddess, stretch it up and bring the hands down to the side. Let's turn into our warrior two. So left toes are going to point towards the front of the mat. Right toes come in a little. Inhale, open the arms or bring them to your hips if you want hands on hips instead. Otherwise, looking down, that center finger of the left arm now. Drop the shoulders away from the ears and feel strong. Harnessing that balance of masculine and feminine power. Breathing here, ready to take your shield of Shambhala. So this time the left hand makes the shield, the right fist comes into that shield as if you're holding it. Inhale, exhale there, ready for your dancing warrior. So left hand lifts up, right palm comes underneath, pointing forward with the fingers, looking up or to the side. And then on the exhale, rotate the arms around, leaning forward. And your left shield, your left fingers, your shield, are now pointing behind you and you're looking back. Good stuff. Inhale, open it back out. Warrior two. Inhale again to finish, and then exhale, circling the hands round to frame that front foot. Turn the back toes so that all 10 toes are facing the front. Again, I'm going to turn towards you a little bit so I've got some more space to do this. We're doing warrior 3 and our Shiva squat. If those blocks were useful, and grab the blocks and you can launch yourself into your warrior 3 from here. If you want to come to a wall or a chair, absolutely fine. If you want to come into a forward fold and then work from standing, try that. So find your warrior 3 first. Take a few breaths in warrior 3. You might explore some different positions with the hands. Maybe hands at the heart. Maybe Kali Mudra. And then bending that front knee, tucking the back knee in behind it, come into your Shiva squat. Can you then extend out again into warrior 3? One more time if you can, slowly and mindfully. Shiva squat, the male energy, touching the back toes down or keeping them flexed off the floor, and then rising from your warrior up to standing, coming into a mountain pose. You do it in your own way, your own unique practice. Come back to mountain pose. And let's bring it back down to the floor. Bring the hands to the heart. Come to the front of your mat if you're not already there. Lifting the arms up. Exhale, folding it down. Hands touching the floor. Step it back, down dog, or straight to kneeling and rest. Rest in child pose. Taking the hips back. Or lay on your tummy. Laying on the floor, hands under the forehead, crocodile pose. We want to make contact with the ground, earthing that energy down. And we're going to bring in Saraswati again, the gentler goddess energy, coming into pigeon pose, either facing forwards, front facing down to the earth, or lying on your back. So if you don't like this posture when we come to it, or you know you don't like pigeon pose, then you'll be lying on your back, knees bent, and taking your right foot up onto the left knee. If you want to, lifting the left foot off the ground, flexing the feet, and you can link the hands around the back of the thigh or even the front of the shin. If you're coming with me into front-facing pigeon, then you're welcome to do it either from kneeling, all fours, tabletop pose, or you might come into down dog first of all. And you want to look towards the right thumb, and the right knee is going to sweep towards that right thumb. Laying the shin down on the mat, stretching the left leg straight back behind you. Flex this front foot, help support the knee, and lift your pigeon chest. Good. So you'll know now, if this isn't for you, try that reverse pigeon on your back. And then thinking of the heart coming forward, walking the hands forward, 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 and turning your pigeon into a swan, one of Saraswati's swans, resting down. The name for swan in Sanskrit is Hamsa, and this also happens to be 2 syllables. When they're broken down, hum and sa, means I am that. So I want you to use this as a little mantra. Use it with the breath. As you breathe in, think hum. As you breathe out, think sa. I am that. Hum, sa. Walking the hands back, coming upright slowly, using the inhales to rise up. If you're lying on your back, bringing both feet to the floor, staying there. If you're in front-facing pigeon, tuck the back toes, lift up, make some space, and you're either coming back to downward facing dog or kneeling. You can sway the hips, move the legs, stretch them out, ready to go the other side. So we want to look towards our left thumb, and that's where that left knee is going to lift forward to or slide forward to. Again, flexing the left foot is going to help support that joint, keep it in place. If you're on the floor lying down, then the left ankle rests up near the right knee, and you can choose to lift the right foot off the floor if you want to increase that feeling around the hip, the sensations. Front-facing pigeon, we're going to lift the heart and draw it forwards. Rather than thinking down, think forward. You'll get lovely length in the body, turning ourselves into a sleeping swan. And you can be up on forearms or laying down almost flat onto the ground or coming up more upright. And don't be surprised if it's different one side to the other. And when you've settled in your position, can you bring in the mantra Hamsa, Hamsa? And like a swan, there's a lot of work going on in this posture, although from the outside, it looks like it's effortless. Breathe into that feeling of letting go of effort. Hamsa. And then beginning to walk the hands back towards the knee. Lifting up into your pigeon, tuck the toes, step it back, walk it out. And then come to sitting. So we're all going to come together in a seated position that's right for you, whether that's kneeling or cross-legged. We're going to listen to a chant to invoke the goddess energy. So the chant and my interpretation of the translation is there on the screen for you. Listening to the chant, you can do call and response, hearing a couple of lines and then chanting them back, or you can be silent and let the music wash over you, soaking in the idea of the invocation of this goddess energy. Sitting with this energy for a few more breaths. Before I ask you to come down into a relaxation posture, you might choose to stay in seated meditation pose today, or you could lie on the floor, either in Shavasana with the legs out long, toes dropping away to the side, or feet on the floor, knees resting together. And however you're seated or lying, have the palms facing up in a receiving gesture. Have a few wriggles. Allow yourself to arrive in a comfortable position and come to stillness. Closing the eyes lightly if that's okay for you. Taking some deep breaths. Letting the jaw relax, shoulders and the pelvis release. Feel supported by the floor. Held in the goddess energy. I want you to picture yourself standing, if you can, visualizing yourself with two wild cats either side of you. These present no threat to you. They are there to protect you. Whether they are tigers, lions, cheetahs, any kind of great cat that comes to mind. Picture yourself standing strong in between these two magnificent animals. And in front of you starts to appear a pinpoint of light that grows bigger and brighter, expanding out. And you realize a figure is coming towards you. This is Durga riding her lion. Perhaps you visualize her on the back of a tiger. See her in her red sari, her dark hair, and her many arms, wielding the weapons of truth, slaying ignorance, standing up for what is right, stopping wrongdoers in their tracks. The divine goddess is before you, and she is sending out her strength and power. Feel it coming directly from her heart, being transmitted into yours. Breathe in the energy that she offers, feeling strong, courageous, righteous, brave. Knowing that she has given you the power, the strength that you need, Durga turns slowly and rides away. The light slowly receding after her, and you realize that the two great cats by your side have turned and walked away too. You feel stronger, braver than you did before. You know that you can trust that inner wisdom as you take a few deeper inhales, breathing energy into your physical body, starting to make small movements, fingers and toes. If you're lying down, rolling onto one side, slowly coming up to a seated position. If you're already sitting, rolling the shoulders, drawing them down and back. Bring your hands in front of your heart space. Take a lovely deep breath in. And on the exhale, take a bow to the divine goddess, all the many aspects and representations of the same feminine Shakti. Know that her key teachings are that you can stand firmly in your truth and never doubt your own power. Namaste. Bring the hands to the floor to ground your energy. And take a few deep breaths before you continue with your day.